Todd Bloomer, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely, man. You want to give the folks a little intro about you, what you do?
Yeah, no doubt. 29 years in education. I originally grew up in New York. Now I'm a Texan. Last 6 years been principal of Churchill High School here in San Antonio. 17 years, 18 years as an administrator. Been an assistant principal, middle school principal, high school assistant principal. Before that, I was a teacher and a coach. Live and serve the community that I live in. So I live down the road. I like to tell people my commute's 1.2 miles.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's no doubt. So it gives me a unique perspective because my neighbors are also the students that I serve. My HEBs are HEB, the church I go to is the church that they attend. And so, really love what I do. 29 years in education. Seems like yesterday I started, still got gas in the tank. I'm excited to be here with you today.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you for all that you do for our students, our parents, our community, as an administrator, as an educator in total. And we're going to skip right past the fluffy stuff, man. You are officially a published author, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
as
sir.
of when?
August. Thank you.
All right, we got to give that to you, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate that. Book went live on Thursday, the 9th of August.
A month and a half, like 6 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
That is crazy, man. 6 weeks. Okay. All right. What is this book? Okay. Show it up to the camera. Let everyone know what this book is, what it's about, and tell us a little bit about it, man.
The Blueprint, Survive and Thrive as a school administrator, originally started as an email to my brother. My brother was transitioning from being a math teacher to an assistant principal, and so, I sent him what started as an email, just kind of with some brotherly advice on how to be successful as an administrator. It kind of grew into something a little bit bigger over the course of 7 or 8 years. I continued to add to it. It's a collection of advice, stories, failures, some successes, what I would do differently, just kind of my journey. I've had principalship at 2 different schools, at a middle school and a high school, and what I learned from one and what I implemented at another. It's practical. One of the things that I think makes it stand out is I'm still a practitioner, so I'm still doing what the book I'm talking about. So I'm still in the trenches each day as a high school principal, and I think that lends some credibility to the book.
That's awesome, man. So if you're an administrator out there watching a clip, make sure you check out his book, The Blueprint. What is the second part? Survive and Thrive as a school administrator. So going past the survival stage and going into that thrive, right? Started from an email.
It did. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
cool
interesting.
Story.
That's interesting. I actually had a conversation with my nephew. Big shout out to Mundo Carrillo III over in New Mexico, Texas. He transitioned from being a journalist at the San Antonio. I forgot the name of the actual publication, but it was basically writing. He would sit in the courthouse, listen and watch cases, and write for the local newspaper, and is now a 6th grade teacher.
That's awesome.
He made the transition, and he called me. He texted me on the way home, and I feel like I'm doing that with him. I actually put him in an official coaching cycle via Zoom. So
how bad do you want to be a teacher?
Yeah,
Uncle's
exactly.
going to coach you.
Yeah, exactly.
We need more good people in education. So
yeah,
if anybody out there is interested, I think I can speak for you. We both enjoy talking to people about the benefits of being a public educator.
Yeah. You could lay your head down at night and know that you're doing something positive for the community and your community. And in fact, that you're 1.2 miles away.
1.2. You can hear the band.
You can hear the band. That could be a gift and a curse, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you implemented this rule at your campus, which we'll get to in a bit, but I want to finish up with the book real quick. How long did it take you from the email to August, would you say August 8th?
August 9th.
August 9th. From the original email that you drafted to August 9th. What was that process like? What was that timeline?
If I told you it took 6 or 7 years, I might be shortchanging a year or so. Like where do you find the time to sit down and really do it? When you're a high school principal, you're working, sadly 24/7 sometimes. And so, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit in some summertime. It was neat. Then you jump into the editing phase of what the editing phase looks like and the revision phase. And then you jump into, making sure you have author voice and that the publisher who owns the rights to the book and starts working with. It's been great. Shout out to Darren Pepper and his wife Jess, who really helped out. She did a great job of allowing me to keep author voice in the book, but that was a fun process of going back and forth with suggestions. And then one morning I woke up, it was Thursday. I went for a run. I like to run in the morning. And went on to Amazon, typed in the blueprint, and there it was.
Man.
My run was a little faster that morning to get home to order it. And so
That's pretty cool.
So,
That's pretty cool.
it took a long time, and then all of a sudden it was published.
Yeah,
It just, all of a sudden jumped up and was published. So cool process.
That's awesome. I have been seeing your social media posts. You get up bright and early before the sun actually rises, and you're doing your run. So big shout out to you.
2 miles a day keeps the doctor away.
There you go. There you go.
And you look great too. I know.
I appreciate it, man.
I can see you're walking.
As of this morning, I hit 25 miles in 7 days,
That's
or
awesome.
6.5 days. But the day's not over.
That's right.
The day's not over.
And you know what I give you credit for? Like, there's only 24 hours in a day, and you're very busy, and you got a job and a family, and you carve out time for yourself, and not enough educators do that. So
Yeah. It's a decompression. It's also because I go so early in the morning. It's mentally preparing for the day. It's mentally. There's not a day or a moment throughout a day where I have a quiet lull where I'm not thinking about how I can progress in either my job as a husband, as a father, as a creator. So my mind's always going on those things. And if you don't mind, we're going to kind of do one of these things real quick. So that's my book right there. Yeah.
Check it out.
Cooking Up Experiences. Speaking of cooking up experiences, big shout out to Texas Sugar Daddies who provided us with the
food looks good.
Food. We have the salty and the sweet. So, all right.
So I saw on your social media that you walked into a classroom recently, and one of the teachers you walked into had your book.
She had her book, yeah. And as a matter of
cool,
fact, at the Meet the Teacher this past Tuesday night, my wife and I were walking by to go to our son's classes, and sure enough, I was like, "Oh, we got to pop in this class." And I showed her the backdrop with the book and everything. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. All right, so I don't know about you, brother, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get a piece of cheese.
Yeah, I'll go like
You're gonna go salty. You're gonna go salty. All right, let's do this. Cheers, man.
Hold on,
There we go. Cheers. Let's do this. That's why we walk and that's why we run, right?
Yeah, no
so
doubt.
we can enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. So, talk to us about the book. You gave us the insight, the idea, where it came from, the process. Your high school is officially a no phone zone.
Correct.
No cell phones. What does no cell phones, what does that mean?
Yeah, no
does
doubt.
it mean you can only pull them out at lunch? Like, talk to us
Sure,
about
yeah.
the policy.
So I think everybody listening, parents included, educators, know that cell phones are a distraction. And the distraction takes away from the learning opportunities, takes away from, just being a good student. And you could walk in a classroom, sadly, in the past and see just about everybody on the phone, whether it be texting or listening to music or on a game. And so over the summer, we really came together as a leadership team and as a staff and just said, what can we do? And, we're out of high school. So, you have kids from 14 to, 18 or 19 years old. And, how can we go from basically it was a free Wild Wild West where you could use your phone anytime you wanted, what could we put? And so we listened to students and we listened to, parents and we listened to staff. And we decided that you could use your phone before school, after school, during lunch, and during passing period. But from bell to bell, cell phones were out of sight. Did a lot of work over the summer communicating that to staff, to students. Overwhelming parental support. Like parents, email thank yous. Worried about students, honestly. The night before the first day of school, I woke up and thought, oh man, what if 2,400 kids just said no? Like what?
It was just a mass rebellion.
What if they
just an
rebelled?
uproar? Yeah.
Yeah, and we just talked about it, and we said, so, you are here for school, and we've come back to, schools for learning, and we've come back to this is for you, and if every teacher buys in, we talked about this as a staff. If every teacher buys in, I do it, you do it, she does it, then it's the expectation at the school. It falls apart where one teacher allows them and the others, don't. Then the kids fight it. And then pretty soon teachers throw their hands and give up. So we've made it a point as a community of staff that this is just our expectation. And Gabriel, when you come by and visit, at some point, I could take you into any class. You could pick a class, whether it be Algebra 1 or whether it be BC Calculus and anything in between. And you will walk in, and the only thing you may see is a kid trying to sneak the phone out of their pocket. But you'll have 29 or 30 kids with no phones. And so now they're engaged, they're listening. And some of the feedback I've received, which has been crazy, is a student, I went in and covered a government class the other day. We didn't have a sub. And I said, okay, tell me about the cell phone policy. And one of the kids actually said, Bloomer, I know more kids this year in this class than I did since elementary school.
No, as in
I know them.
Have
I know
had
names.
a chance to converse.
I've had a chance to talk. Because you go in there and there's not a distraction of a phone. When there was downtime in the past, kid picks their phone up, kid starts doing just
They're
like
staring
that.
at the black
They're
screen.
staring at that. Now I'm looking around and I'm saying, oh man, cool shirt, or hey, nice sneakers, or let's talk fantasy football or something.
Or what's going on with the Yankees?
Or let's go on with the Yankees. Every year we try. We're in the playoffs. Aaron Judge is having a great year. Delays the inevitable. Baseball's the longest season in the whole wide world.
It is. It really is.
162 games, and we digressed, but every year the Yankees, like it's my deal. I'll tell you, I talk about it in my book a little bit about leadership, and I'll go back to the Yankees just because you brought it up. Like the Yankees won their first World Series basically in my lifetime in 1996, and then in '97 they lost a playoff game. They won in '98. They won in '99. They won in 2000. They lost in 2001. And I got spoiled, and I thought they're going to win every single year.
I'm with the dynasty.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm with the dynasty.
Yeah.
And so I talk a little bit about the book, about leadership and starting to sometimes rest on our laurels when we're winning all the time and we're doing stuff well and failing to change. In 2001, I believe Arizona. Diamondbacks.
That was their year.
You're an Arizona guy. It was also.
I'm actually a Padre guy, and I don't want to talk about the '98 World Series.
Okay, '98, we swept you, right? That was the best year that we had for.
And that does it for this interview, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wrap.
But you know what? That 2001 team was one of my favorite teams because that was after the towers had fallen. That was.
It was what New York needed.
What New York needed, the world needed.
Yeah.
Like it really brought us together. And George Bush throwing out that first pitch at Yankee Stadium.
That's right.
Going nuts. Just lots of pride, lots of great games. And that's probably my favorite Yankee team that lost. But in the book, I talk a lot about just that run and how as leaders, it's our job to make sure that we don't rest on laurels and that we are constantly looking for that next deal. Our episode is sponsored by Snorkel. Like we're gonna pilot that at Churchill High School. Like my English dean came back from a training that they just received from the EB department.
Yeah.
We're going to utilize that in our win time, which is our flex time, to be able to provide some house bill stuff for kids that are there. So shout out to Snorkel for that. But that is one of those examples of we're doing fairly well, but how can we pivot and how can we continue to get better so that Churchill High School, so that the kids are constantly on the top and we don't fall off and not win a World Series forever, right?
And that cell phone policy is helping with that.
And we have data right now of reduced referrals.
Really?
That 100% talked to my ISS monitor just Friday about the lack of kids that are in ISS, and we attribute it to cell phones. I can't quantify it. We have a happier campus. The vibe on the campus is cool. Shout out to my new head football coach. I think he's brought in an awesome vibe to the campus. But I honestly feel like the cell phones have caused our campus, have helped our campus have the best 6 weeks opening that we've ever had. And honestly, going back to cell phones. And what's crazy is even though we allow the cell phones during lunch, you still see tables of kids sitting around just conversing. And that's the beautiful part of it because we've lost that art in life, adults and kids.
Dialect.
Yeah, no doubt. We've lost it. And then even going back to just, how poor our grammar is based on text messaging and stuff. And so.
OMG.
Oh, you're right. And so, it's 6 weeks in. And I'll give you this. We've had, twice we've been called to classrooms. 3 times we've been called to classrooms for a non-compliant kid. 3 times in 30 days, basically. Twice I went and I said, hey, you have 2 choices. The phone goes in your backpack or you come with me. The phone went in the backpack. We've only had 1 kid that had said, no, I'm good. I'm not complying.
Oh, really?
And we brought the kid to the office and said, here's what's going to happen. And the kid said, okay, I will comply.
All right.
So honestly, so it's working. So it can be done. So, one of those things that we talk about, like we're in a legislative year coming up, and then there's been talk about, do we need to pass a law to ban cell phones in classrooms? And I would actually be against that because what I'm doing is working on my campus. And what may be different for Johnson High School, Austin Westlake High School, somewhere else, I don't need someone to come in and say, this is how it has to be done. Like, allow me the flexibility to get to the end goal the same way that you want. Like, I don't want to lock them up in yonder bags or something like that. Like, I'm not for that. And I feel like that might be the law that comes down.
Okay.
So if there's any legislators out there listening, like, I'd love to be able to talk to you about, like, how it's successfully been implemented under my circumstances, under our community expectations and guidelines, and how it's working. And, like, I think that could be the model. Like, honestly, kids are 18, they're going to go off to college in 6 months or 8 months. Like, we have to teach them effective uses of it. And I think locking it up, I don't think that's the way to go because we don't lock up adults' phones. I think teaching a kid, hey, when you come into bell to bell, you're here to learn. School's about learning. Put it in your pants pocket, put it in your backpack, and 99% of kids do that. Like we bought those cell phone pockets and
The ones with the key and lock kind of thing?
We bought.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
So
yeah.
we bought cell phone jails. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah.
And we thought maybe we're going to have to use that, but most kids have just lived up to the standard of treating them like a young adult and saying, Gabriel, you got two choices. Put it away or I take it out. Okay, I'll put it away. Gives kids a little bit of choice. The ownership, it's in their possession still.
Yeah.
Because that phone that we have is a $750 phone.
And it's mine.
And it's mine.
It's mine.
I don't want you to have it. I worry about it being stolen and stuff. And so, but you're treating them like an adult. Okay, that's fine. If you're out of sight, just put it away. And I think that has helped our campus immensely. I think teachers note it, parents note it, I note it. And I'd love when you come by to take a look and just say, take me to a world geography class.
Yeah,
Take me to any class you want. And you'll see it in action, and you'll be very impressed with it.
All right. So I'm going to be the, what's the term I'm looking for? I'm going to play devil's advocate. And I wish we would have had this conversation prior to that actually happening. But before I do that, this little piece of cheese is calling me right here.
Is this ranch?
Only one way to find out.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's
Okay.
good.
All right.
It's good.
I thought you were going to double dip there.
Who's got the best ranch in town? Do you have a?
I'm not a ranch guy.
No, I'm not. I'm a blue cheese guy.
I'm a blue cheese guy.
My children, they rank ranch throughout the. Pluckers is what my kids
Oh,
tell
man,
me.
I haven't been to Pluckers in forever.
Pluckers.
Our second episode, this is actually your third time on the show. The first one,
We went to Wing Daddies.
we went to
Wing
Wing Daddies.
Wing Daddies. Yeah.
Wing Daddies.
Remember one of my students popped in. Yeah, remember? Yeah, during the interview. Yeah, no doubt. That's crazy, right?
Wing Daddies
never
over
go
on
anywhere.
West Avenue
Yeah.
and Jackson Keller.
Yeah, 100%.
That's right.
Outside, we sat outside.
It was a beautiful evening.
It's come a
beautiful
long
evening.
way. Man.
Yeah,
Shout out to your podcast.
it has.
Almost 300 episodes.
Going on to, this is 230. If I can math correctly, this is
It's awesome.
230.
Not
Yeah.
many people make it that far.
No,
Shout
no.
out to you.
And yeah, as you can see,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love it.
I got 3 producers over here just
that's awesome.
waiting,
Yeah.
waiting for this food to be.
I can imagine. Yeah. They're looking at us each time we take it.
All right, sounds good, man. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Now let's be devil's advocate.
Diet Pepsi,
here.
if you got one.
Oh, we're,
Diet Pepsi, if you have one. Oh, 0. I'll take a 0. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna move this real quick. There we go.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you.
So we got Diet Pepsi, charcuterie,
We're rocking.
and it's technically the clock is still striking AM. So, all right, I do have like I said, I was going to play devil's advocate a little
please.
bit. My child has a situation in which maybe they're on a 504 and they take medicine or they suffer from anxiety or some sort of physical or mental ailment. And I need to be able to text them and they need to be able to text me throughout the day just to verify that they're okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm pretty sure you've had a conversation or two
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that. All right,
So,
talk
so,
to us.
so, that's a fact of life, right? I mean, honestly, and parents, sometimes we are the cause of our children being distracted at school because we text our kids. And so we allow,
Guilty?
Yeah, same here.
Guilty.
Same here. And so we have, this is part of the listening to kids and parents. And so every 45 minutes you can check in with your kid because during passing period. You can use
That's right.
the cell phone. And so that has been our go-to as far as just what if I need to check in with my kid. Now I will share it to something I thought that was really awesome, and you know this from having children and being in the school business. Sometimes we pull up to the school, we need to get our kid for like a dentist or doctor's appointment, and we may be running late as an adult, and so we text our kid, hey, meet us down here.
Yeah.
So the other day, parent pulls up late. She says, hey, I need my kid. I'm not going to make the appointment. I said, well, you can try to text, and this will be a good test to see if your son, and he didn't get the text. And so I said to Mom, I'm so sorry. She said, no, this is my fault. Like, I'm late. I said, but that just showed that our policy's working.
It's working.
It's working. So thank you. And we got the kid as quick as we could. We assisted, but I thought that was really good. So to any parent out there that says, hey, I need to be able to, you still have that. And if there's an emergency, I tell people, just like when you and I went to school, you could call the school and we'll get your kid a message.
Yeah.
I'm the principal, and if you need something very important, then I will do it for you. But you know what? Just being able to say I need to be able to check in with my kid 25 minutes into calculus, I'm going to ask that you wait 45 minutes, Mom.
Okay.
During lunch or something like that. And honestly, it's conversations and it's listening. As adults, as leaders, we listen to parents to try to find best case. But if we allow you to check in every 5 minutes, then the policy really falls apart.
Yeah.
And Mom, we're here to learn. And honestly, I can share another great story of this. A counselor shared with me that she's been working with a kid for 3 years, had some anxiety and had some issues of non-avoidance by not coming to school. And this year's been her best year in 3 years. She said, without the cell phone, I'm able to pay attention in class. I'm able to get my homework done. I don't go home at night distracted, not knowing what to do, and then not come to school because I don't have my work done. So she credited back, a 17-year-old child credited back, no cell phone, no distraction. Now I'm forced, quote unquote, forced to listen. If you pay attention in school, you could be successful. She's able to get her work done. She feels good about that, so she comes to school. And so that's a story that I've shared with parents that have talked about this to say, hey, there's lots of great effects of no cell phones in school. And it always comes back to, we're here to learn. And this is for you as a child, because I could get a 4 or 5 on an AP exam. And last year I was distracted with my phone. Imagine what you could do as a top student without a cell phone, all the way down to every kid that's in my campus. So we just keep bringing it back to instruction, comprehension, being successful, and then being socially just a good Churchill Charger. And so that's, if you came in and talked to me about that, that would be the conversation that I would have with you and your family about anxiety.
Okay. All right. That's a very good answer. And that's a very good example and antidote right there. So big shout out to that student. I'm a firm believer in success breeds more success. So that student doing better in class, understanding, equates to her being able to do her homework, equates to her getting a better test score, which equates to her wanting to go back or not trying to avoid.
Correct.
By not going to school or making up an excuse or something.
It's cool because, I'm also now starting to invite people to come see it in action.
That was going to be my next question. Like, what are, in the administrative community within just our district, have you had a lot of, hey, I'd like to do a campus visit, just kind of walk kind of thing?
And I've invited folks because I'm pretty proud of it.
I would too, yeah.
100%. Like, this is, like, a lot of our middle schools have gone no cell phones.
Yeah. There's a couple that I could think of, yeah.
Same here. And shout out to them because the two of the main ones, all three of the ones that feed Churchill High School, they don't have cell phones. So that helps me, right? That helps as they're coming in because they're conditioned and used to not having them. But you've walked campuses of high schools, and it's not, there are teachers that are requiring kids to put them up or put them away, but across the board, we're the only one in Northeast that is doing this. And so I've invited anybody at any point to come see, this is what we're doing.
Okay.
And pick any class you want. Like, let's not just pick one class. Like, anyone, you tell me where you want to go and we'll go there. Algebra 1, which is, from 9th grade all the way up to Calculus BC, anywhere in between. You pick one, we'll go there. Because it is the expectation. And, as administrators, it's our job to walk in and support teachers if we see kids that are not in compliance with it, because I firmly believe every teacher is setting the expectation for it. So we may go in and see one, but you'll see how we handle it also. Hey, Gabriel, put your phone away. And kids do. We went into a class the other day, and there was a substitute. And substitute's hard because...
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, without a sub, we've kind of said we're going to look the other way on that. Because a sub trying to enforce things sometimes at a high school can lead to some confrontations that we just don't want. Right?
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
But if I walk into a classroom and there's a sub, I ask the kids, what's the expectation? They all put it away. And so now I'm not silly to think, I walk away.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
kind of go from there. But I have really awesome kids at Churchill, just like we do at all of our schools in Northeast, really awesome kids who know that we treat them with dignity and respect, and they know that we treat them as a young adult, and they listen, and that's amazing.
All right.
So it's been great. So next time you're on campus, we'll have to go live real quick on like Instagram or something.
Well, I can't. It's no phones on. Yeah.
Touche. During passing period of lunch.
There we go. That's right.
We can
That's
knock
right.
it out there.
Absolutely. Now, okay.
One.
So you gave us a little bit of insight on the ins and outs of the policy, the little nuances with substitute teachers, guest teachers, if you want to call them that, and the expectations. And, it sounds like you got the community buy-in too. And you got some administrative support at the other campuses that feed into it. Have you considered like the straight up ban?
No. I just am. I think that
you're a realist.
I'm a realist.
You're a
yeah,
realist,
100%.
yeah.
Like,
and you have kids,
and I have children of my own, and I'm a realist to think, kids are always going to bring them, so it's always going to be a daily interaction. And if what we're doing is working, I would like to continue that. I don't logistically locking them up in the morning. Where?
Yeah.
What if the kid comes in third period? What if the kid? I think you would see less parent support, to be honest, if the phone was out of commission from 8:50 to 4:15.
Yeah.
So no, I do not want that.
Okay. Good
because it works on our campus. Like, and if it worked at your campus and you were a high school principal, I would say, cool, we don't need to be the same. Like, because we all have the same goal. The goal is to have the phones out during instructional time, or have them picked up during instructional time, so that the kid can be successful. And if I can do it this way and you can do it that way, cool. Like, I don't think we need to be the exact same. That's why I was talking about, I don't need a law to say how to do it. Like, I just, like, okay, everybody has to have cell phones out of sight during instructional time. Your high school does it this way, this high school does it this way, my high school does it this way. We all hit the same goal.
Yeah.
And so that would be, I would ask for that. And that's my only worry about when we start to get, other people involved in mandating how it's working, because our campuses are so different. And, let's take Marble Falls High School, and shout out to my friend Patrick, who's the principal there, 400 or 500 kids, different than Johnson
That's
High
a
School.
middle school. Yeah.
Correct, right?
Different we have elementaries that are bigger than that. Yeah.
Different. And so, those are different just logistics of how it works. And so one size fits all is just not my bag.
Yeah, yeah.
In anything, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, technically, you should be treated, and it sounds like you're treated like you are the CEO of your building. As long as it's just, as long as it's educationally relevant, then we will support you. And it's not a mandate.
It's not. And we have also talked, we're not going to make this into issues. We don't want to clear classrooms when kids are, non-compliant with it.
Yeah.
That's not the goal. Like, I may have to step back at times, but I'll win the war eventually with individuals if they're choosing not to. But we want to make sure that in that classroom, every distraction is there, and the teachers can do what they signed up to do, which is inspire a love of science or math or English. And you know what we're finding? This is really interesting. Is teachers are having to plan more, and this is where we got instructional
more for each class period.
More for each class period, because the cell phone, if you finish 7 minutes early, okay, get on your phone and wait for everybody to finish. Well, that's no longer an option. So now, smartest kid in the class finishes up early. You got to have something for him to do, because the cell phone's not an option. And that was some of the stuff we had talked through at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Teachers, hey, what about the last 5 minutes? No. The answer is no, because the last 5 minutes turns into the last 12 minutes, which turns into the whole period. So teachers are now having to utilize folks like you, instructional specialists. Really goes back to the PLC, which really jumps back into our, like, we're here for school. So, answering those PLC questions of what are we going to do if they already know it, and then how are we going to revise for kids in class? And so teachers are now able to say, holy cow, not that they didn't buy into PLC, but now they're like, well, this is really important. Like, okay, for this unit, what are we going to do if the kids finish 20 minutes early and you already know the work? And it's also given teachers so much more time to work individually with kids in class. I've seen so much more group work in class.
Okay.
Where I walk in, I don't see the teacher because they're either sitting at a desk or on a knee working with kids. And it's been amazing. But that's been a revelation that we didn't anticipate. We didn't anticipate.
It was a byproduct.
It was a byproduct of no cell phones was, hey, we got to go bell to bell teaching also. Like, we can't have any of that fluff time.
Okay.
Like, and you think about sometimes after a test, like, what do you do after an assessment? Like, so you sit there.
Yeah, you sit there. Yeah.
Sit there. Well, maybe the stuff. Well, not anymore. Now there has to be an activity, whether it be a spiraled activity or something. So, like, we're really looking to see at the 9 weeks our grades, and really looking to see EOC scores, AP scores. It'll be a year or two down the road, but I'm thinking we're going to see some great trending in the right direction of scores moving up, and we'll take it all back to, schools for learning, and we put cell phones away, and I think that'll be something that we can hang our hat on 5 years down the road.
All right. So for those teachers who are having to plan extra time or extra activities during that extra time.
Yeah, there you go. Let's look in the book.
Hey, I got some ideas in there.
Right, let's look in the book.
Yeah, check out the book. Okay. I got a better idea of what your policy is. I hadn't stepped on your campus at all. I think the last time I stepped on your campus was spring.
Testing
for state testing. Right. But I have a better idea. I have a clear idea, and I apologize for pulling my phone out, but I have notes on here because I
give me an opportunity to grab a piece of, like, salami or
pepperoni.
Pepperoni, that's
one of these. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do that too. Yeah. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, you are on the EdTech Bites podcast, sir. Are you ready for some food trivia?
Well, food trivia. Let's go.
All right. I'm going to give you a minute to prep real quick. All right. I really needed a moment to swallow that. All right. I'm going to give you a couple questions. And I'm going to give you answer choices. So you don't have to know this on the fly. I'm going to turn this mic real quick. Right there. You don't have to just guess. So you're going to have 4 choices. So technically, you got a 25% chance, bro. No phones.
No phones, right?
You can phone a friend over here, though.
Right. Lifeline?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, all right. Which type of pasta is shaped like small rice grains and is often used in soups? Okay. Penne, farfalle, orzo, fusilli.
Orzo.
You're going with orzo as your final?
I think so.
You think so?
It's not penne. I don't think it's fusilli.
Okay.
Shout out to Seinfeld Fusilli Jerry when Kramer made that. right.
And you are correct. All right, fusilli for the win. I mean, no. Orzo for the win.
Okay.
Man, see, I'm already messing up on my own. All right. Ironically, I'm going to ask you a cheese question.
Okay.
All right. Which cheese is commonly used in traditional Mexican dishes like quesadillas and enchiladas? I'm going to read the question one more time.
Okay.
Which cheese is commonly used in traditional Mexican dishes like quesadillas and enchiladas?
Okay.
Cheddar, Gouda, Monterey Jack, or Swiss?
Cheddar.
Cheddar? Sir, that is incorrect. It's actually a Monterey Jack cheese.
Okay.
Yes. Traditional Mexican food is usually, yellow cheeses are not really used in traditional Mexican dishes. So 1 for 1, sir.
I love enchiladas, though.
Or 1 for 2, that's 50%.
50%.
That's almost half. All right, here we go. Which spice gives curry its yellow color? Which spice?
Have you been to Curry Boys Barbecue?
I know which one you're talking about. The Pink Building?
Pink Building, yeah.
No, by the Pearl.
It is.
Never been there.
St. Mary's. Put it on your list. Legit. Put it on the list. It's legit. They just opened one in Stone Oak, too. Second location.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I like the way you distracted. That way you can get some more time to think about this answer. All right. Which spice gives curry its yellow color? Is it cumin? Is it paprika? Is it saffron? Or is it turmeric?
Turmeric.
Turmeric for the win?
Turmeric for the win.
All right. You got it, sir. Turmeric is indeed what tints the dish, the stew, the soup, the base of it to give it that yellow. It's a very unique, umami flavor as well. All right.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3
so far.
That's right. I had to math in my head real quick. Oh, all right. What is the primary flavor in the Italian dish risotto?
Okay.
Tomato, garlic, Parmesan, saffron.
Say it again.
What is the primary flavor in the Italian dish risotto? Okay. Out of these 4, is it tomato, garlic, Parmesan, saffron?
This is a guess. Tomato.
Tomato? Let's skip that one. Technically, it would be Parmesan, but if it's a tomato risotto, yeah.
There you go.
See? Okay, man. You called me out on that. All right. Whatever, man. All right.
Being kind.
What type of bread is typically used to make the traditional BLT sandwich?
Okay.
Wheat, sourdough, rye, or a baguette?
Traditional
BLT is
great
it
sandwich.
Wheat, sourdough, rye, or a baguette?
I'm going to say sourdough.
Sourdough it is, sir. You are correct. Technically, you are 3 out of 4, and you got 1 more.
Let's go.
And you can nail an 80 right now, man.
Let's go.
Okay. I literally have a list of 50.
Okay.
I'm going to go with this one right here. It's my go-to list that I ask guests. All right. If you get this one, technically you're 4 for 5, which is an 80%.
I'll take it.
All right, which is passing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is the key ingredient in a traditional Caesar salad dressing?
Okay.
What is the key ingredient in a traditional Caesar salad dressing? Is it mayonnaise, mustard, anchovies, or ketchup?
Anchovies.
Anchovies for the win. And, sir, you just knocked it out of the park on your DEUA,
There you go.
CFA, IEP 504, BLT, whatever you want to call it, with an 80%, sir. So big shout out to you for knocking that out.
Monterey
and
Jack cheese. Is
Monterey Jack cheese.
That's what got me.
Yeah. There's like a bunch of different traditional cheeses that are used, but you'll never
You have
find
a favorite enchilada here in town?
Yes, my wife's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a loaded question. What about if you go out to eat?
If I go out to eat, that's a really good question because I very rarely order enchiladas.
Okay.
But I'm probably going to go, I had a chipotle enchilada, but I don't remember where we had it.
You been to Herbert's Tacos in San Marcos?
No.
Best enchiladas I've ever had in the state of Texas.
Really? Okay.
Herbert's Tacos
In San Marcos.
Yes.
By the outlets up
It's
there?
Opposite side of the outlets. It's
Okay.
probably a little bit north. There's a baseball park there. It's in, I swear, somebody's house. It's a house. Herb's house.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
doubt. It is.
I have to check that out.
It is. Check it out. The enchiladas are the best I've ever had.
Okay. All right.
State
I'll
of Texas.
definitely have to check that out. Now, how can
But
people...
yellow cheese.
With yellow cheese?
With yellow cheese. So
Okay.
that's what threw me. Because I thought that was kind of authentic.
So that stuck out to you.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yeah.
It's got to be. Okay. All right. So how can people connect with you on social media and all the places on the internet?
Yeah,
sir?
no doubt. Shout out to my daughter Bethany, who created a website for me.
What?
So, yes, Churchill grad. She learned some stuff in one of her computer science classes. Built me a website, toddmbloomer.com. You can order the book at there. You can check out some of my blog posts and some of my pictures and some of the things I'm hoping to do after the principalship. Pretty active on X or Twitter. At
Twix.
Twix. They'll call it Twix.
We'll call it Twix.
I like it. Peanut butter Twix would be my favorite.
That-
right? No
it's
doubt.
right up my alley,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Peanut butter on anything.
Yeah.
Peanut butter chocolate, right? No doubt. So
Not on ranch, though.
no, probably not
Or
on ranch.
enchiladas, but...
Or enchiladas.
Yeah,
Yeah, we wouldn't have that. At Bloomer_SA, LinkedIn Todd Bloomer, and those are pretty much the ones that I'm very active on.
Okay, sounds good.
Rolling from there.
So if you want to connect with Todd Bloomer, don't worry about pulling over on your walk, on your drive, or whatever it is you're doing. Don't worry about putting those 245 plates down at the gym. All the information to connect with Todd to purchase his book and read some of his online posts on that is going to be in the show notes. So all you got to do is click on the show notes. You'll find all the links there. That way you can connect with Todd and buy a couple hundred copies of the blueprint, right?
That'd be great.
That'd be great, yeah.
Hey, let me before we sign off, let me ask you just a quick question. So,
Sir, this is my show.
This is your show.
Yeah,
so
okay, all right.
We didn't talk about it before, but I'm going to put
Okay,
you
all right.
So I need some advice, and so I'm asking for some advice.
Okay.
So your book's been
I would buy 500. That's my advice to you.
there you
Okay,
go.
all right.
Your book's been out a while, and after the initial success of the book and with people that have published it and friends and family, like what has kept the momentum up? Because I'm 6 weeks in, and so now I'm starting to see what is that next step, because you write a book and then you become a businessman.
Yeah.
So what is
yeah.
what is your business advice to keep my book trending at the right spot?
All right. That's a great question. So in order to keep it up, I wish somebody would have told me prior to.
Right.
What I do is I'm starting to I do a lot of conference stuff.
Right.
I present at various conferences, and I talk to vendors. I talk to companies like Snorkel, who happens to be the sponsor of this episode. Big shout out to them. And I will do 30-minute sessions at their booth at conferences.
Okay.
And rather than pay me, let's just say they were going to pay me $300 or $400 to do an in-booth session or what have you. Instead of doing that, I'll tell them buy 25 copies of my book. Perfect. I'll sign them right there on the spot at the conference so that they're still relevant and they create a little bit of a buzz at the conference. So that's what I do. And also, I know that you do some consulting, right?
I try.
Yeah. So with consulting, hey, rather than pay me the I don't know, the whatever the amount is, let's just say $50,000. I wish.
Same here.
Yeah.
I need to consult with you.
Yeah. Let's just say that they're going to pay this amount. I would cut it in half and say, don't pay me all of it. Pay me half and agree to do a book study by purchasing one for every teacher at your campus kind of thing.
Love it.
So that, and then one thing that I'm not very good at, but I'm starting to, I'm aware that I'm not good at it, and I'm working on it, is social media.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, social media, and it's difficult with the different algorithms, because you try something, like I'll do like a reel or something with my book showcasing it, and it goes under the radar. Yeah. It has an engagement of like 25.
Right.
So somehow the algorithm has not picked it up as organic, so people don't see it.
Got it.
So I also do a newsletter. I'm not sure if you're in the newsletter game, so I do a biweekly newsletter. It's at the bottom of every single newsletter.
Okay.
And
I got to do a better job of that.
It's time consuming, but I've got a system down that works for me pretty well. So you just reminded me that I got to look back into that stuff. But it's keeping the momentum. Yeah. And then I don't know how you feel, but you have your entire life to write your first book. But when you start thinking about that second book, it's a little bit more niche and it's a little bit more focused because you've got all those big ideas out. You did that brain flush basically.
Do you have second?
I thought about it, but at the same time, I've heard from many authors that say, don't immediately start going into the second book. Keep kind of riding the wave on this one and then eventually get to that second one. So I'm not there yet. And who knows if I will. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, no doubt.
So all the information to purchase your book, everything's going to be in the show notes and that. But I do have one last question for you, sir, before we get out of here. You ready? This is the most important question you're going to be asked all week.
Let's go.
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Corn.
Corn.
100%.
And that is why you're my man, because I am team corn as well. So big shout out to you, Todd, and all the corn tortilla lovers out there. Blue corn, you ever do like the red corn?
No.
Give it a shot.
I have purchased the red corn tortillas from H-E-B.
Okay.
But I've never made them. My wife's tried to make some at times for us.
Okay.
Time consuming.
Yeah.
Very time consuming.
Yeah.
But shout out to H-E-B. Some of the tortillas that you can buy at H-E-B
are
not bad.
Good. Yeah.
They're not bad.
Yeah, they're not bad at all. This episode's not sponsored by them.
Could be. They're great. They are great supporters of public education.
Yes, they are. And food.
And food.
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate it, Todd. I appreciate everything that you're contributing to our educational space, everything you're doing for our teachers, our staff, our students, our community, and just being who you are, being authentic, and being innovative. Because I truly believe, from what I've seen in the past 8 years, that you are an innovative individual and bringing that innovation to...
I'm lucky our paths crossed. I'm
as am I. So thank you very much. Have a good day, man. And thank you for being a part of the show.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Sounds good.